So, yeah, they were aggressive early. They were the first teams to call, and Alex was checking in frequently, and I spoke to him a couple times, and yeah, my hope was that we could stay close to home. Um, the situation in Tampa was awesome because I got to play with an awesome group of guys, and spring training was a 55-minute drive, and the stadium's 40 something miles, and like it was great. So that was my hope, was that I wind up with the team that was a really good group, really talented group, and I mean, it's an hour flight from here. So once the Braves called, I got pretty excited because I knew, that if things didn't work out with the Rays, there was a possibility that I could still wind up with a team that fit that description.
Welcome back, Charlie. How you doing, man?
Dave, how are you?
Good to see you.
You doing all right?
I'm doing good. How can you describe your career that's been so different than most guys in that from your age, 32, 33 season, you've been a much better pitcher than you were before that? What did it have to do with injuries or figuring out things, getting bigger, stronger? What? Everything?
I would say probably finding an identity that worked more consistently. With Pittsburgh, I kind of found my identity in the new arm slot and the sinker, and just throwing a lot of fastballs, getting guys to hit the ball on the ground. And then once the league started to adjust, and primarily lefties, because I felt like I did a pretty good job with the righties, but lefties were just giving me a heck of a time, and I didn't know what to do. And when I went to Philly, Rick Kranitz and Bob McClure were there, and they were the first guys to pull up the numbers against my curveball, and they suggested throwing my curveball a lot more. But unfortunately, the Philly thing didn't really work out. But when I went to Houston, there was more of that. There was more of, hey, throw the curveball, throw the four seamer, and I actually was throwing a good deal harder in Philly. So I think it all kind of came together in Houston because I felt healthy. I'd had both my hips fixed, my elbow, I had used the UCL reconstruction. I just felt better. My delivery felt a lot cleaner, and over time, my delivery has gotten a lot better. It's become more efficient, more repeatable. So I don't think that you could just say, pick out any one season or any one thing that I've done. I think it was just the culmination of years of just trying to figure things out, whether that was from the pitch mix, whether that was my delivery, just my health, and even getting in the weight room and trying to do some different things and just getting in better shape. So yeah, I've tried to describe it to people. I think it just would take too long.
And Kranitz has to be a plus then for the Braves as well, huh? Him being here.
Yeah. So like I said, I mean, I didn't get to work with Cranny a ton because I blew out my hammy running down to first on a bunt, but that was one of the things that that not just that familiarity, but knowing that he's a good guy and a good pitching coach, and that helps. It's hard to keep going to different to new organizations. It's not something I really look forward to because it's like I'm a pretty loyal guy, and I become attached to people. Like I get connected with people, and then it's like, well, see ya, and on to another group, and that gets hard. So, like I know Sal Fasano. Sal and I played together in 2008 in Richmond.
Wow.
Yeah, and I know, so I know Travie too from 2019 with the Rays, and so yeah, those things help.
Hey Charlie, you joined this rotation with Soroka and Fried, and Anderson, some young arms that have been really impressive the last couple of years. What do you like most about this staff that you're joining?
I would say that it's exciting. It's young and exciting. Really good pitchers. And I didn't realize how young they were until I looked up a couple of the guys, and I was like, dang, because I'd watched them throw from, the other side. And I don't know. I mean, I like being around younger players. Like, I like watching guys go about their business and trying to figure themselves out and figure their careers out and their identities, who they are, not just as professionals, but as people. Like, cause it's cool. It's cool to be around that, especially as an older guy that's been there, and I got to experience a lot. So I think the more rewarding things that I get to experience now have to do with the people. So, and while I'm sure, and like this is as talented a group as you're going to find. But also I'm really just excited to get in the clubhouse and just be around them and, get to know them.
Hey, Charlie, Allison at WSB in Atlanta. Welcome to the Braves again. You talk about being around that young, youthful energy, but as a guy that's, been in the majors for about 13 years now, what type of leadership and, advice can you help bring to this young rotation?
I don't know. I try to get to know people. I try to get to know who they are and just establish relationships with guys. I've never gone into a clubhouse and thought I've never looked at myself and said like I'm a leader, like a traditional. I guess I try to be empathetic and use my experience in how I talk to guys and how I get to know them. And I think that's the most important thing. And then from there, you can give advice, you can say things, you can try to help guys out, or just, I think just being there for your teammates and caring about them. So, that's priority number one is getting in the clubhouse and getting to know the guys. And then from there, just trying to establish close relationships. I don't really, and I said the same thing with the Rays, because the Rays were really young when I went into that clubhouse, and I feel like I'm leaving there having gotten to know the guys really well, having spent some really special days with those guys. I'm looking to, have the same kinds of experiences and offer whatever I can.
Charlie, I know I talked to Chuck James last year, and he said you guys have had some contact. Who have you stayed in touch with from your former days with the Braves? And just to kind of, put in perspective how long ago it was you were here. What do you remember about Freddie Freeman during that last spring training? I think he was probably sharing a locker with Jason, if I remember right.
I really don't remember a whole. I mean, it was 11 years ago. I don't really remember a whole lot of it at all. I talked to some of the guys. I talked to mostly guys that I was in the minor leagues with, because I was only in the big leagues with the Braves for 4 months, June to the end of the year. Every now and then I'll talk to some of the guys, but most of the guys I talk to are guys that I spent the majority of my time with the Braves organization. It was in the minor leagues. So, yesterday I got a bunch of text messages, and we rented this 24-foot Sprinter van. It was like decked out, because we were going to go visit my dad in Charleston, and we were going to continue on to Delaware to see my wife's family, but they started regulating, like family gatherings and stuff like that, and we just didn't think it was a great idea, but to take that second leg. But while we were in Charleston, we got my agents were calling and Alex was calling and we were trying to figure something out. And I had to make a decision, and we made the decision while we were in Charleston. So they requested that we come up there to Atlanta to do the physical. And then we drove from Charleston to Atlanta, and then we got up there yesterday. And it was just crazy because the kids are in the car, their cumulative time, I don't even know how many hours, 20 hours or whatever. And they're going nuts in the back seat, and people are calling and texting. And it's like, I can't even answer the phone. And Chuck called me, and I was hoping to give him a call here today. I hear from JoJo a little bit. He's a police officer out in Southern California. But like I said, a few of the guys that I still talk to from the Braves, just, no. So I'm hoping to catch up with Chuck, maybe see him when we get up there, and that'll be nice.
Yeah.
Charlie, rolling into town in a 24-foot van with your two kids in the back sounds a little different than the stories you used to tell, driving across the country in your truck with your guitar playing staying with old friends.
Yeah. So we got in the van, and I immediately, I wouldn't say I regretted it, but I realized that it was completely unnecessary because I wanted to experience it, like, because we were, we got 4 kids, and our family's all over the country, all over the eastern seaboard, right? So it's like my mom's in Jersey, and my sister is there too, and we have friends up in New York State and Massachusetts, Western PA, and then my wife's family's in the Mid-Atlantic. So we're thinking, we're going to be wherever we wind up. If we stay in Bradenton, or if we move to Raleigh or like Virginia, like, we're still going to be doing a ton of driving. And I wanted to get in that Sprinter and just check it out. But yeah, I don't know about that. I think we might just stick to the Honda Odyssey, the minivan, for now.
4 kids, what are their ages?
7, 6. Benji will be 4 in a week, and little Emmy's, she's 2. Boy, girl.
Not playing the guitar anymore, then, huh?
I do. But yeah, I think the novelty is worn off. It's like, like, my kids are kind of over it, and my wife is over it. Yeah, but I still bust it out every now and then.
Charlie was obviously on the staff, that year in 2008. What do you remember about him, at all? From maybe even in Strucks or anywhere, any other point you cross paths with him?
With who?
Snit. Brian.
Snit.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the last time I saw him, well, I can't remember if we said hi or whatever, but the last time I saw him was at the All-Star game in Cleveland last year. So we spoke a little bit there last year. And I just remember him being just a good human being. And that's just, that's what's been echoed from, whoever you talk to, whoever you ask about him. Just a really good dude. And yeah, I'm looking forward to playing for him. And I'm happy for him that, things have worked out, and he's done a great job. He's had a great career. So, it's just another thing that definitely influenced my decision. And yeah, I just remember him being just a good human.
Was there any point before you signed with the Rays in 2019 you thought you might be with the Braves?
I don't remember them expressing much interest after 18. I don't know, that after 18, I think there were some things on my medicals right after at the end of that season that threw some teams off, that kind of just gave teams a little bit of a pause. And the Rays were one of the teams that just, they looked at it, and, they thought that they kind of looked at it a little bit differently, I think. And they were one of the more aggressive teams. And then, like, I feel like that's how it's been in free agency for me. The the past couple of times that when I hit free agency after I was with the Phillies, the Astros were the most aggressive. Then this last go around, the Rays were, and then the Braves were. But I think this time more than ever, I was looking for something very specific because it was geographically influenced, and proximity to home was a big thing. And that's when I started to really hope that we had some options that were, like I said, that were in this area of the country. And I was, like I said, I was happy that they were calling early and being aggressive early. So I really, I really don't, I guess I'm like I said, I mentioned about being interested in people, like the people that I play with. And I think that's more of, what my focus is, and would be in a group that I'm hoping to play for, not necessarily like the name of a team, like, the label, is more like the reputation of the guys. And really, I watched that group play in the playoffs this past year. Watched them on TV, and I was really impressed, and so also really excited about the talent level, when they called.
Let's do one or two more for Charlie.
How far is Northport from your house, Charlie?
I think it's about 45 to 50 minutes. And it's, I guess it's a little bit closer than the Port Charlotte complex. That was about 55 an hour.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's right there. It's good. I mean, I get in the car, I put on a podcast or some music, and I just, head on down.
Cool.
Yeah. 'Cause I was doing about an hour 15 for the Phillies. That was, up in Clearwater. And I mean, it's like nothing like sleeping in your own bed, right? Seeing your kids every day. And so that was pretty huge. That's a big deal.
You've been very fortunate to experience several World Series, and I know you're all about, the connection to the players and being closer to home, but does it also excite you that this Braves team that's young enough, it just keeps advancing every year in the playoffs, and they have a chance to be a championship caliber team?
Yeah, absolutely. So with all the protocols with COVID and all the uncertainty and just the effect that it's had on morale, I think league wide, you really start to appreciate even more the group that you're with. And I mean, because it could really stink to be like in a clubhouse where guys didn't care about each other and weren't really excited about playing, and trying to win. But the old saying is, winning makes everything okay. Winning makes everything better. And being on a good team makes every day easier. It makes it easier to go to the park, and it's usually a reflection of the chemistry in the clubhouse. Like most good teams, they can outplay their talent level just by being close and guys having good attitudes and having fun. And so, I mean, from everything that I know and that I've seen, the Braves have both. It looks like they're really loose, fun loving, but they're also really talented. So I'm looking forward to being part of a group that's, looking forward to where, you get to the park every day and you want to just hang out and being excited to play together.
I think that's a good one to end it on. Thank you for the time, Charlie. Welcome back to the organization and look forward to seeing you around.
Thanks, guys.